So here's a great one for you. Love this one. Because we find this, right? We get a call from someone that has just gotten a call that says, oh my goodness, I just found out that I'm the executor of a estate. Instantly, they're overwhelmed. What do they do? What do they do first? What's the sequence of events that they should be thinking about right off the bat?
One of the first questions they have to determine is, am I the executor of the estate or am I the successor trustee of the trust? Because that makes a big difference. If there's an estate, that usually means we're going to probate and your duties change drastically. If you're the trustee of a trust, then you have the peace of mind of knowing, hey, I don't need to go to court to carry out my responsibilities. Now, assuming it's a trust, one of the first things you might want to consider doing is getting good counsel, hiring an attorney, have somebody to walk you through the legal steps, because you probably will have a decent sense of what needs to be done generally, but you don't know what you don't know. And that's the job of your advisory team. Now, duties of a trustee usually fall into two separate categories. You have the stuff that just has to be done because someone's passed away in California, and those are universal for all of us. And then you have the things that you have to be particularly mindful of because the trust says you have to be mindful of them. To give you a quick example of some of the things that everyone has to do when they pass away is we have to send a notice out to the Department of Health Services to notify they pass away. You have to send a notice out to the Franchise Tax Board. You have to send a notice out to Social Security Administration. And so those things are universal. If you own any real estate in California within 150 days of date of death, that personal representative or that successor trustee needs to report that person's death to the county assessor's office in every county where that person owned real estate.
Is it incumbent upon that person to do those tasks?
That
there could be, I'm sure there's help, right? There's help.
Well, they can give it a go on their own, but the savvy person will usually consider hiring a lawyer, CPA, a real estate professional.
Because the mistakes that we see done in those situations where people have kind of got like, oh, DIY, and the mistakes that we see people make on those initial things that come back to bite them later in the transaction, like we've got the house on the market and everything's in order and we're hearing all good stuff, and all of a sudden a doc didn't get filed the way that it should have been filed.
It can have drastic property tax reassessment results.
Drastic ramifications.
It can create a tax liability when that property is sold where maybe it was avoidable in the first place. Getting the right advice from the beginning is crucial. A lot of people step into that role and they say, hey, how hard can this be? All I need to do is transfer the assets to various people and they're in for
a rude awakening.
You can call it that.
Rude awakening. Avoid the rude awakening. Surround yourself with professionals.
That's well said.
That's it.